2011 was a very interesting year for the SDA churches on Montserrat. We have been given many stones of remembrance, indicative of God's love and protection throughout. Many wonderful memories that will last a lifetime, though not without pain and struggle. The importance of marriage and the family was highlighted by the Joint Family Life Department, with a week of events dubbed Celebrating Families, and culminating in a Family Fun Day. Our guest speaker was Pastor Charles Gittings. Many couples in the church welcomed the rebirth of the marriage club. In the spirit of connecting with friends and family, we had a joint service at the Ebenezer SDA Church, where we united with our brothers and sisters in the UK for their SDA Day of Fellowship, held annually. We accomplished this through an uplink-downlink session coordinated by the New Carmel Communications Department, which was a huge success. The media committee used this opportunity to honor Mr. Herman Sargent. The New Life Company began to see the necessity of meeting the needs of the Spanish community on island. So, with a joint effort of the three churches, we erected a tent in Salem and launched a bilingual crusade called La Crusade de la Maravillosa Esperanza, led by Pastor Moises Espinosa. This was really one of the highlights of 2011. We want to use this opportunity to sincerely thank the Morales family for taking up the mantle of leading this group. The volcano was on its best behavior this year. Nevertheless, the New Carmel Church took the opportunity to educate its members by hosting a disaster management workshop with guest speaker James White Jr. Our Spanish brethren, most of whom are new to the Salem community, joined us for the presentation. The Seventh-day Adventist community was well represented with two booths at the Health and Wellness Fair 2011, one manned by Brother Keith Phillip, who sold and promoted SDA health books, and the other by the joint churches' health departments, in collaboration with Albi's Natural Health Store, owned and run by Sister Mary Farrell. During our Children's Ministries weekend, the children joined SLM's Children's Ministries leader, Dr. Eulalie Daly Semper, and President of the SLM, Pastor Desmond James, in an exciting day of fellowship on Sabbath, October 8th at the Ebenezer SDA Church. President James gave inspiring words to the congregation during the divine service. The children of each church demonstrated their talents in a dramatization through the eyes of a child, where New Ebenezer congregation dramatized My Life, New Life, My Home, New Carmel, My Church. Another highlight was a march around the village of St. John's, an activity that received strong support from the entire SDA community. Pathfinder Congressory 2011 was a remarkable success. The induction service, the March of Witness, and the preaching sensation Jamoy Phillip were talked about for days after the event. The Pathfinders were involved in many other community and church activities during the year, including handing out food with the welfare department, serving lunch to the elderly, and helping to give the Salem Park a facelift. And of course, how can we forget the buzz that brought children from every part of the island to the old Samuel Community Academy? Much joy could be seen in the smiling faces at the VBS graduation ceremony, as the children shared highlights from their summer program, where each day they were taught various ways in which to communicate with God. It was a high day on the island when the SLM team visited Montserrat for the entire day, briefing us on the plans of the SLM for our island congregations. Montserrat has been well represented in the SLM newsletter since its launch, as it has given us some well-needed exposure. At last, but certainly not least, the SDA Church has had its share of grief this year, with the loss of loved ones, including the deaths of brothers Charles Riley, Kenneth Brown, and Kelvin Amer, and Sister Diana White, just to name a few. This was a sneak preview of some of the things that took place in 2011, some of the memories that this year has left with us. The New Carmel Communications Department has been working hard to ensure that both locally and overseas, our members are informed about the events that are taking place on our island. We worked closely with all the churches on island in 2011 to promote the work of the SDA churches on Montserrat. The Communications Director, Brother Leslie Ogle, would like to use this opportunity to thank all the department heads and members for roles they played in making this possible, and welcome the new team to 2012. Philippians 3:13 says, "Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before, I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus." And so, with the past year behind us, and the next year soon to begin, we give God many thanks and continually look to Him for strength to deal with whatever the future holds, and peace knowing that He is in control. And with this, we, the Communications Department, bid you all a Happy New Year.